All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back. We're going to be doing something different today. So, right. So I work as a Reiki master, right? I teach Reiki, I do Reiki sessions, I do Reiki on myself. I'm very passionate about it. And when I'm getting ready to do a Reiki session, I do a thing where I invite in, I usually say I call in my angels, masters, and guides. And I ask that the person that I'm doing the Reiki session for to do the same thing, right? Not that they have to use the same language, but I usually say, like, whoever it is that you pray to, your ancestors, your guides, whether you know who your guides are or not, and that. And I don't usually pay attention to um, who the masters are, right? So when I talk about the masters, I reference the ascended masters, and everybody has ascended masters that work with them, whether you are aware of it or not. And it's not something that is usually talked about. We talk about our guides and stuff like that, but the ascended masters are different. Um, your guides are people that have been here, or usually, right? Usually. um I don't want to get too deep into this because this is not what this video is about, but your guides are usually people that have been here who are crossed over, and they're like one step up from us, say, right? Now, some people have spirit guides who are alien, who are not necessarily from this dimension, or, whatever. And so that's why it's kind of tricky to talk about that, right? And I am aware that at this point, a lot of my guides are alien, right? And people are like, oh, alien, whatever, it's like weirdo, whatever, right? Fine, have your own thought about it, right? But it's not like we're the only ones in the universe, right? We're not xenophobes. So there's that. But anyway, I was doing Reiki on myself yesterday, and I'm like, okay, who are my angels that are working with me? Am I going to be able to get a visual of them? So, I was meditating and starting the process, and I'm like, okay, I can feel the angels coming in, and I felt that energy around, and I felt the energy getting around me getting like lighter, and then it was like, okay, my who are the masters who are working with me, the ascended masters who are working with me, and can I get a visual on them? And I saw these entities out here, right? And I heard the term the council. I'm like, what? And I kind of like snapped out of it for a minute because I'm like, I've never heard that term in reference to me. Now, I've seen YouTube videos where people channel the council. I think it's the Council of Nine or just the council. I don't know. I just before this video, I briefly looked up a thing, and I didn't watch the whole videos and stuff like that. I didn't want to be biased or anything like that. But this video, I'm going to see if I can get in touch with them, see if they have messages for me, messages for whoever it is that's out here watching this video or whatever, right? So let me just, I'm wicked angst about this whole thing. Man. And I can feel the energy coming in now. I can feel the goosebumps all over my body. So I know that there's a high energy that is coming in around here. Oh, man. I can start feeling them like coming in around my headspace. And it feels like Magneto, like, like that helmet that he wears. It's starting to feel like that. All right. We're here. They want to know what kind of questions we have. So my question would be, do you have a message for the planet? That's not very specific, but we understand what it is that you're asking about. We can see in your energy what you are referring to. And yes, when you did your reading for the collective, as you call it, previously, we are the ones who came through. There is a healing that is happening for the collective of the planet. There is an energy that we are bringing through to bring your planet to a higher dimension. And we hear you asking, is it just the planet or is it the universe? We are not just taking your planet and moving it to a different dimension. When we say that we are moving your planet, when we say that we're taking your planet to a higher dimension, we are talking about the idea that your planet's frequency is changing. There are people on your planet who talk about the Council of 9. The Council of 9, we are not 9 entities. We are not 9 beings. We are 9 groups. We are 9 solar systems. And they're showing me our planet here and massive entities, 9 different groups of higher vibration entities coming towards our planet because we are ready. They are choosing to speak energetically as opposed to verbally. They're talking about how our planet has been raising its vibration. And because our planet has been raising its vibration, we are now becoming ready. And we have our own collective that is based in this planet. We have our own, they refer to them as ambassadors. We have our own beings who are in spirit. Some of them are connected to this dimension, others are in another dimension. And we understand that this is something that can be tricky, so we'll explain it in this way. Humans are in 3D. When you cross over and you're in the spirit realm, that is considered another dimension, technically, but it's still an ascension from this physical planet, from 3D into another realm where, our ancestors, when they pass over, they're there. However, separate from that dimension, there are also entities that are not connected to this planet. And they oversee this planet. There have been aliens who have been on this planet, who have seeded this planet, and the beings who are in this other dimension are connected there. So they have been watching over this planet for millennia, for a long period of time. We'll call it a millennia. Because this being cannot comprehend the amount of time that we have been here. So I'm being shown negotiations between the entities coming in, the entities from our dimension that are in spirit, that are watching us, that are helping us, and also the alien dimension. And there are all these people out here in spirit who are helping us. They're all helping us to ascend. They're all helping us to become better versions of ourselves, as they say. Because this planet has ascended, because this planet has raised its vibration sufficiently, all of these energies, all of these entities are coming forward, negotiating to the entities governing this planet and making decisions that we are being allowed to ascend our vibration, because there's a sufficient amount of entities. Everybody is being referred to as an entity. The people on this planet are being referred to as entities because we are. If we're going to use this term entity, then all beings, all life forms are going to be listed under that category. Dogs, animals, bees, dinosaurs, these are all going to be termed as entities. So we understand that you don't have we understand that you don't have terminology. At least this person does not have the terminology to categorize the entities coming from far off in space, from other solar systems. He doesn't have terminology for the entities that are alien, that have been watching this planet. We also want to inform you that in the realm where your ancestors have passed over, you would say that there are humans that have passed over that are in that, we'll call it a pocket realm. There are also entities in that realm that are not human. Those entities were the first that were there to welcome you when you passed over. And they still are there because there are people who have passed over that have been there for many of your lifetimes. And so there is still guidance that is happening in that realm. You're going to be seeing more opportunities for space travel to other distant planets. There are entities that are going to be given transmission to the people on your planet. We say transmission because they would not understand it as speaking to them. They would not understand it as an alien speaking to them and giving them information. For them, it may feel like an inspiration. They may feel it as subtle intuition. They may see it as a matter of fact, well, of course, this is going to be this. I've been studying this. I've been studying this. But they have been being groomed to be able to receive this information. They have been watched since they were children and growing up and being groomed to become like scientists because they have the mind space, because they have the IQ, because they're able to receive this information in a way that is uninhibited. And so these scientists will be coming together and different scientists being given different parts of a plan because one scientist cannot absorb all of the information about how the whole operation is going to take place. So one scientist will be given part of a plan, one scientist over here will be given part of a plan, another scientist over here will be given part of a plan. Because you're being ready. This is not necessarily something that is happening over the course of the next year, but in the next like coming years could very well be in the next like 20, 25, less than 100 years. This is something that is going to be happening. It is definitely going to be much more advanced. Science advancements, being able to transport more than 2 or 3 people, but this is just really one aspect of what is going to be happening. Your planet has been killing itself with the smog, with the air pollution, with things that you have done to create the climate change, which can really alter your vegetation. And so in a shorter period of time, there will be technological advances for vegetation. It may start out in small greenhouses as experiments. However, these people who are doing these experiments, they are people who have not been incarnate on your planet previously. They're coming to your planet in a human form where they have not been human in previous incarnations. So they're bringing with them the information from a soul level to be able to do this. That way, those people do not have to receive the downloads. They don't have to receive the transmission from the entities that are in spirit. They may receive guidance from their spirit guides. However, their spirit guides are not from this planet anyway. They're not going to be receiving information from their human ancestors. They will be bringing information from distant galaxies that is sitting in their soul resonance. So these people who are starting with these scientific advancements for agriculture, for your vegetation, for your food supplies, they will be bringing with them technological advancements that will be able to protect the food from whatever kind of insects or smog or other creatures on your planet that would be attacking it. But the protection will not have to be chemical. And because it is not chemical, it will not adversely affect your atmosphere. And so as these things grow, there will be less pollution being created. And because these advancements are happening, they will also be incorporated on the space flights that will be heading to different planets. There will be opportunities to discover different solar systems. And you will know that you are not alone, because there will be actual visitations that are going to take place. There are entities that have already been here. And there are more that you know of. So for now, that is what we're going to tell you. We wanted to come and introduce ourselves. We made ourselves known because this being was seeking us out. And so we are making ourselves known. There is more to come. Thank you. Where are my glasses? Okay, well, that was a little trippy. Wow. That is the first time that I have received information in that way. I felt like I was bouncing between individuals and groups. Normally, when I do readings and I'm channeling information, I get information, like, I'm aware that there are other entities out here. In the past, when I was doing readings, there's me, and then I would get information from out here. And I'd be aware that there was this spirit or this entity or whoever that was coming through, and I would be getting information from a single entity. When I very first started this, I've been doing readings for about 30 years now. When I first started this, I was being in touch with like my guides, and I was aware that there was like 4 or 5 of them, and one would be talking over here, one would be talking over here, one would be talking over here. And I told them, like, look, you people, I refer to them all as people, I told them, you people have to come together as one energy and speak to me with one voice, because if you don't, I'm going to go crazy, because one was wanting this, one was wanting this, one was wanting this. So that's what they did. They joined as a group, and I could feel the 4 or 5 of them, but I would have one person speaking to me. And over time, I became, it's almost like that group somehow, I don't even remember when, somehow that group disbanded or whatever, but I became more aware of what I started calling the collective, because whether you call it like the collective unconscious, whatever, I don't know what they were. I just thought there was this whole group of, I used to call them the entourage, call them the collective. I just thought there was a whole group of entities that were coming through, and that it wasn't just like my 4 or 5 little group, right? So eventually, continue meditating, right? I continued meditating, and I continued doing Reiki on myself, continued to clear my energy, right? Continued asking, continued seeking, continued raising my vibration, seeking higher entities. So this is April of 2024. In September of 2023, I had changed my name legally. And before that, I was here, and there was awareness of another spirit hanging around me. And I wasn't sure what that was all about, because it was different than all these other entities that were swirling around out here. When I changed my name, the person that was connected to that name, it felt like that person, that entity, left, crossed over, whatever you want to call it. And so that spirit that was hanging around, that is now the spirit that inhabits this body, because that's what I believe anyway, because that spirit is no longer there. So I think that that spirit was waiting to be able to come in, because I had a dream. This being here had a dream about the name change and woke up and immediately started downloading the paperwork, whatever, and changing the name. Then it became legal, and it's been a whole process of doing that. And so now, continuing to pray, continuing to meditate, continuing to reach out, I no longer feel a disconnect between myself and the other entities that are out here. I now feel all of whatever the entities are that are out there. So when I start to channel, all of that energy starts coming through. And so with this video, it was interesting. It was easier, but it was seamless, because part of it was like I could speak. Part of it was these entities that are hanging around here could speak. Part of it is the collective that is in the spirit realm. When we pass over, those entities were able to come through. Also, the aliens that have been around, guiding, watching over this planet, come through, and also whoever it is that is coming through, from far off galaxies, far, far away, Star Wars type thing, in a galaxy far, far away, like that. The 9 realms, the 9 collectives, the 9, whoever they are. Like a solar panel, it was like all these bright lights, big square panels, like huge, obviously massive, because they're out in space. Huge. These like 9 groups coming in, and I could see that they were like separate groups. But it's like I could be connected to this group and that group and the other group, seamlessly coming through and talking, but I couldn't differentiate between this group and the other group and the other group. It was like way too complicated to try to differentiate, because I don't have the language, I don't have the verbiage, I don't know who these 9 are. I just know that there are 9 groups out there from different places. The 9 are connected, we'll say, energetically, contractually, more, for lack of a better expression. They have some sort of, for lack of a better expression, like a galactic contract. And because they have been where we are. They were in their planets, were in like a lower vibration, evolving, and then they were able to get bigger and connect and evolve spiritually, energetically, whatever. Millions of years ago. So they have evolved over time, and so now the 9 are these. They're bigger than solar systems, is what it feels like. So, however many solar systems are in this group, and this group, and this group, there's like 9 groups of multi solar systems, but there's like 9 different groups, and so there are representatives. There's all of that that are like coming through. So let me explain this. When I see God, I do not see God as one entity. I see God as, because this is what I've been shown. Because I do manifestation work, right? Way back, hundreds, millions, like Buddhist people talk about beginningless time, right? So in the beginning of beginningless time, right, there were whoever. I don't even see, when I'm traveling back and that, I don't even see one. There's always, as far back as I can tell, there have been multiple entities. Those entities thought, I want this, and it manifested, and there became more people, and there became more people. I call them people. Whatever the entities were, there became more, and they became more, and they became more. So, for lack of a better example, analogy, right? We'll say in the beginning there were 4. Then they started manifesting, and then there was like 16. So things started, the energies, entities started manifesting exponentially. So these souls, for lack of a better expression, like, I don't think that they would necessarily call themselves souls, because thoughts are things. Thoughts take on a life of their own, right? So whatever that is, right, there are cycles of evolution that happen, right? There are people, there are animals. The animals evolve, they become more, they become more, they become more, right? So over time, these things, entities, beings, whatever, that were back, way back when, they became more, and they became more. And so now, where we are today, I see this group. It's like a swarm of souls. And that swarm of souls, it is all about love. It is all just love. And they want what is best for us. They do not discriminate. They say, you want this, fine. And it doesn't matter if what you want is going to hurt you or not hurt you. On the planet, we would see it as something that's going to hurt you. However, because there's not really death, because there's going to be reincarnation, is it really hurting you? It's something that you will learn through. And so you will be reborn and you will have learned from that. So there's a growth cycle that happens in that harming, that destruction. It's like a phoenix. A phoenix burns, and a phoenix burns up and it's born out of the ashes. It's reborn out of the ashes. We are all just like that. So it doesn't really matter if there is harm, because that harm is not really permanent. When we are reborn, that's not something that is following us. There is karma, and so maybe that karma follows us. So there may be residual things in our physical body that are connected to that harm that was done. But if we sufficiently learn through that karma does not have to follow us. That whatever that physical harm to our body was, that does not have to follow us into the next lifetime. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it doesn't have to. Spirit wants me to talk about babies. So sometimes babies are born, well, obviously when we come through, we're born as babies, right? But sometimes those babies, they die in the fetus, or they'll die like crib death, or they'll die as like children, right? But those entities that come through and die in those ways, they have only needed to learn about the birth process. They did not need to learn the rest of growing up and everything like that. So it's difficult for me, for this person, because I'm aware of this. It's difficult for me to be on board with, oh, this person died like so young. Fine, but they learned what they needed to learn. They even though somebody may have passed away in the womb, maybe somebody passed away when they were like 6 months, maybe somebody passed away when they were like 20 years old, right? All of those beings had a full life because they came here and they did what they needed to do. What I have been shown over time and time again, is that there are different opportunities for people to pass away. When you get to that point, you decide, your spirit, your soul decides, have I learned what I needed to learn? If I have learned what I needed to learn in this lifetime, then I will take that window of opportunity and I will pass. If I want to continue to learn, then I will pass by that window and I will continue. And then there will be another window, and whether or not I take that is whatever. And so it continues like that. So they're wanting me to let you know that we are all heading towards the same goal. We all may be on different We may be at different places on the path. However, we are all heading to the same destination. You can call that enlightenment. You can call it something different. It doesn't matter what you call it. It is all heading the same direction towards the same goal. We are all going to be a part of that swarm moving forward in order to be one of these solar panels in the sky helping other planets, other groups of energies, other groups of entities. We are all here to help. Now, sometimes we help by giving somebody food. Sometimes we help by giving somebody medicine. Sometimes we help by giving somebody money. However, if somebody is shot and killed and maimed, that is also helping somebody. It can be helping to learn, like, don't do that. That's still helping. And the person that died in that way came to the planet knowing that that is how that was going to happen. They knew that before they came here, and it was a contract that they made, and they were okay with it. Once we come into human form, we may forget that, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't prearranged in order to learn, in order to evolve, because that's really what this is all about. It is all about we are here in order to evolve, to grow, to ascend. Eventually, all of that will stop. It's a matter of time. They're saying it's a promise. So I promise you that eventually all of that will stop. It will no longer be necessary because all of the souls on this planet will have learned that we don't need to do that anymore. Until the souls on this planet learn that, that will continue to be here. You can judge it or not. You can accept it or not. That's the way it's happening. So, we will just tell you, there's the expression, go with God, be well, love and light, live well and prosper. Whatever term you want to use, whatever it is that suits you, be your best self. That is what we wish for you. So, for now, good night, good luck, be well.